But first, our Power Player is taking the heat so you can keep yours on. See how he's doing it. Thomas Graham is the voice, the face, and the president of Pepco, the power company that serves nearly 1 million customers in and around the nation's capital.
When I came into the company in '86, there was a discrimination case. So when you think of when I came in at that time and today with the executive leadership team, about maybe 15 to 20% minority, the company has come a long way.
Graham himself has come a long way. Growing up in the district, he was sent to a military school by a concerned and recently divorced mother. Meanwhile, the best career advice he ever got came from his dad.
When I first came out of school, I played soccer professionally in Jacksonville, Florida. But he always said, get a job in the government, get a job in a utility, work 30 years, retire. So it just so happened that I had the opportunity to work for a utility, and now 26 years later, I'm 4 years short, working my 30 years as my dad had instructed me to.
The responsibility is huge, and this is your hometown, so I'm sure it has a lot of personal meaning to you.
It's really meant a lot to me, and it's really personal to me because my friends are here, my family's here. We have about 2,000 employees in Pepco who work hard every day because these are our communities as well. So when we're restoring service, we're restoring it for our people as well.
For this regional chief executive, the job also means managing consumer expectations, particularly when the power goes out, as it did recently in Superstorm Sandy.
So it happens to be a beautiful day out here, but typically, you know, in the midst of a crisis, these crews are out here in the storm, literally, or in the immediate aftermath.
You're going through an assessment phase early on, but conditions have to allow the crews to go out safely because you can't be in a bucket truck in high winds near energized wires.
Not something that you're thinking about if you're sitting in a dark house with your food going
exactly.
bad.
Right. And I can appreciate that. I can appreciate customers being frustrated when they're out of service. But also I have to think about the safety of the employees as well. At the end of the day, it's a responsibility for everyone to be able to get home to their families.
When crises like Sandy hit, Graham may be the one not able to get home for days. But as bad as Sandy was, the storm that tested him and his company most came earlier in the year.
What lessons did you learn personally and from a company standpoint from 2012?
2012 was really the derecho. It was a hurricane with no warning. So without that preparation, we didn't have all the resources, and none of the utilities really had all the resources they needed. No one wants to hear they're going to be out of service for 10 days. But I want to be able to tell you the truth up front.
I'm sorry if this has been an inconvenience for you, but we'll
because if I tell you that, then if you have a special medical situation, you can then make plans. You can relocate from your particular location. So communication, I would say, is the big piece that we learn from that.
And as the primary communicator for this company, your position is sometimes the truth hurts, but you got to hear the truth.
I think it's very important. Yeah, we can't sugarcoat it.
That desire to speak out and those communication skills are legend within the company.
I would think the most important thing that I've learned from him is really being calm under pressure. And one of the things I always smile about with him, because he's having to respond to the media, but he never loses, for lack of a better term, I don't even want to use it, but it's cool, basically.
He understands that when customers call him, when elected officials call him, that he has to respond on their behalf and address their needs. And I think he does a fabulous job with that. But I think the most important thing, he's steady, he's compassionate, and he doesn't get flustered. You know, he stays on point and stays connected to our customers in the community.
He also needs to be unflappable when his customers want to know about the price of their electricity.
But when you look at the value of electricity in comparison to other things that are in your life, it has maintained a good value over time. We're also very, very engaged in energy efficiency programs. So we're doing everything we can to show customers how they can save energy.
Well, you can also say that electricity is cheaper than gas, right? That's why you drive an electric car.
I do. That's a Chevy Volt. I get about 39 miles to the charge. I go to the gas station about once a month. It costs me $28 to fill the tank.
Seems like the perfect car for a guy in your position.
Yeah.
From his position at the top, Graham is helping to build the next generation of corporate executives, offering young employees his 3 keys to advancement.
You need a mentor, need diverse activities, and you have to tell people what you want. And if you do those 3 things, I think you'll have a successful career. And if you also think about, it's not all about the money, but it's about what you do. And once you figure out, what your niche is, and you get good at it, you'll start to rise in the organization, or you'll rise in your business.